Welcome to Kalima Hora with me, George Galloway, on Al Mayadeen Television, coming to you from London, but discussing the Middle East. In particular, the role of Israel and its Greater Israel project in the context of the collapsing security situation across the Arab world. Now, this is Kalima Hora, free word. Every one of my distinguished studio audience will have theirs. You will have yours. I must have mine. I frankly think that the predisposition of people in the Arab world to blame others rather than themselves for the multiple problems that exist within the Arab area is a cop-out, is a means of escaping their own responsibility for it. And I've said this on Al Mayadeen many, many times. That does not, of course, mean that Israel is not involved in the multiple conflicts in the Arab world. In fact, Israel is involved in every single one of them, and in most of them in collaboration with Arab regimes which have not yet been subject to any serious threat of overthrow by their own population, and indeed Arab regimes that do, contrary to what many of us would like to think, enjoy largely popular support within their own countries. Certainly, there is no public rejection in Saudi Arabia of Saudi Arabia's increasingly ugly belly dance with Israel. There are, of course, many in Saudi Arabia that oppose that policy, but not nearly enough. Neither does this mean that Israel does not stand to gain, indeed already has gained, from the balkanization, the atomization of the Arab world. It stands to gain, has gained very much indeed, not just on the geopolitical level, but even on the financial level. The exploitation of Syria's resources in the Golan Heights, for example. But geopolitically, Israel gains a very great deal from the idea that 23 Arab countries was not enough. We needed more, far more. And we needed not countries, but small emirates. Preferably emirates based on confession, based on sectarianism, based on tribalism, based on city-states like Libya, where once we had one Libya, dysfunctional, very badly governed. Now we have, I've lost count of the number of Libyas, all based on city-states and on local popular militia. Equally, Israel has gained from the increased fanaticization, Islamization in the Arab world. The idea that they can be a state of the Jews, as they falsely claim, is mirrored if you can have a state of the Christians in other parts of the Arab world, a state of the Shiites, a state of the Sunnis, a state of this tribe or that faction or confession. They gain a very great deal from that because it vindicates, validates, or would appear to, their determination to splinter, atomize, balkanize the Arab world. So far, many of my audience will be with me, but maybe not this far, because as I said in a celebrated exchange on this program, which now has more than 25 million views on YouTube, none of this would be possible if the Arabs united and stood up against it. If the Arabs could find within themselves the ability to rise above tribe, confession, sect, religion, and see themselves as one people, at least set themselves on the road in the direction of being one people, then they would be unstoppable. Then they would be a superpower that nobody in the world could ever ignore. That's not what they are now, as everyone knows. Israel's ideological basis has always been Greater Israel. The very lines on its flag are supposed to delineate the Nile to the Euphrates concept of a Greater Israel. That does not mean that Israel intends to govern from the Nile to the Euphrates, but why would they need to? Why would they need to if they had governments that were acting in a way that served their interests and the interests of the imperial masters who brought Israel into being in the first place? The debate is on. As I said, I have an audience of experts, unusually expert, even on the high standards of this program. But every person here has the right to their free word, and those were mine.